The reason she said, you can do negative activities. I was sentenced 20 years in the state penitentiary, did 7 out of that. I do motivational speaking. I like the word professional speaking because I'm good at what I do. And I take pride in what I do. I come here and I volunteer my services to show you I'm not even getting paid. It's not even about money. It's about me showing you that you can succeed. I got 4 felonies, but I don't want to stay on that story because that's just an introduction, just to show you that I'm not up here one who doesn't know what it's like, right? A couple weeks ago, I stopped drinking coffee. And the reason I stopped drinking coffee because I didn't enjoy it anymore. I was just doing it out of habit. What are you saying? A lot of my actions that I was doing when I was doing crime was out of habit. Drug habit, hanging out on the block, robbing people, mistreating my wife, disrespecting my mother. It was a habit because that was a custom that I grew up with and thought it was cool to do. So when I quit drinking coffee 2 weeks ago, I had an adverse effect. I had headaches for 4 days. Go to show you that it's pain when you're giving up something that you're used to doing. When you say you don't want to get high anymore, I was a bona fide drug addict, man. Heroin, angel dust, and crack cocaine, that was my thing, right? When you give up something that you're so used to doing, it's gonna be some pain, right? You're gonna have some withdrawals. I was so addicted to hanging out on the block, man, 8 hours a day, hanging out with the boys, just sitting there talking. Now that I'm no longer hanging on the block for 8 hours a day, I'm like, yo, how can I stand out here for 8 hours a day doing nothing? I ain't getting no money. Why not take that same energy I put into the block to put into my future so I can be successful, right? Right now I'm going all over the country, speaking at schools, speaking at penitentiaries, and I'm getting paid for it. Telling my story, but not only my story, but becoming educated enough so that when I go in there, I can speak the language that they're speaking, right? Because I used to rob people, man, stick them up and get it, right? You know what I'm sticking them up with now? Information. I'm sticking them up with information. Let me get that money because I got what you need. And what they need is this information saying that we can change, right? They will pay you for your story. Don't ever think that you can't make it. No matter what, man, it's not worth going back to. I just talked to my psychologist yesterday. Yes, I deal with mental health. I deal with all that stuff. And I didn't want to talk to my psychologist when it was time to just sit there and tell a person your story for 8 hours, for an hour, to just spill your guts out to somebody. But when you're dealing with generational trauma, and you're dealing with things that affect you, that cause you to explode, to go from 0 to 100, you need to talk to somebody. So when I talked to my therapist yesterday, I got some of the stuff off. She said, "Maybe you want to continue?" I said, "Yeah, I need this because it's helped me get over generational trauma." One of the things that I was dealing with as a kid, growing up, that my father, I never knew him, never saw his face, never even heard his voice. That bothered me. And I was having antisocial behaviors. I was acting up in school. My mother only gave me attention when I was acting bad. So guess what I started doing? Kept on acting bad for that attention. My father got killed when I was 13. I went to prison when I was 40. This is how generational trauma affects you so bad. Even at 40, I was still hoping he would come to prison and come get me. That's how bad that bothered me, right? So now that I have a 7-year-old daughter, I was just talking to Lisa about this, I was expecting my 7-year-old daughter to come into the adult world, to think like me, talk like me, act like me. And I kept wondering why she didn't want to spend time with me, right? I talked to my psychologist or psychiatrist, and she says, "Wayman, you got to go into her world. She's only 7. Now me and my daughter have a good relationship. I go play trouble with her. We play go fish. My daughter even lifts weights with me, man, and I love it. What I'm saying to you is, you can do it. You just have to apply the principles. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. You would never know that I take medication for mental health by looking at me. You would never know that I spent 7 years in the state penitentiary by looking at me. You would never know that I dropped out of high school, that I had a bibliophobia, I couldn't read books, by just looking at me. You would never know that I have 4 felonies. You would never know by looking at me that I was homeless eating out of garbage cans. But I took that time when I went to prison to change my life. Because there's nothing like your daughter coming up there saying she want a man just like you. 12 years old. Then you got your other daughter who comes up there at 7 years old. "Daddy, you don't love me and mommy no more because you left home to come here." See, what you do affects your family, whether you know it or not. They're looking at you, your children, your nieces, your nephews. I said, man, I gotta change. I went to this beautiful place that was hiring. The benefits are great. And people say, well, where's this place? This place is called Change is Hiring. Only you can hire change and be employed by change. Only you can change and be a better person. Only you can change to be a better brother, a better husband, a better wife, a better uncle, a better cousin. Whatever you need to change you, and I promise you, the benefits are greater. I have another presentation I do, then I'm almost done. I'm still on parole. I'll be on parole for the rest of my life. My wife is my parole officer. My children are my parole officer. Uncle Sam is my parole officer. My business is my parole officer. You are on parole with them, but guess what? Life is parole in general. There's consequences for everything that we do. My wife tells me every day I better be home by 7. I better not do anything wrong, or she gonna kick me out. See, it has consequences. So don't feel bad about being on probation or parole. Use probation and parole as a stepping stone. Use these resources. All right, guys, you guys have a great day. I hope I said something that would encourage you.